So it's mid-June, and anybody that got their perennials in a record time this spring is probably looking and wondering whether they should terminate them now. This is when the weeds start getting ahead of our forage annuals, or our perennials. Our seedlings are really young, they're really small, and they end up being way smaller than that canopy of annual weeds. Particularly if you had a really dry spring and so nothing was coming up, and then all of a sudden you get a flush of weeds and your perennials haven't quite sprouted yet. So it's very easy on these kind of dry springs followed by moisture to let your weeds get way ahead of your forage perennials. So some things to consider when you're going out there and scouting is to think about what kind of plants are actually out there and do some counts. So you're looking in the black soil zone and a 50-50 grass legume or straight legume, you're looking at 8 to 10 plants per square foot. If you're in the drier part of this province and down in the brown zone, you're looking at between 2 to 4 plants per square foot, and that is if you were brave enough to actually seed the seeding rates that are recommended for perennials. If you went lighter on your seeding rate, then well, you're gonna have to adjust for that. So the trick with perennials is putting in a lot of seed and then trying to keep that competitive edge with the forage over the weeds. So about this time of year is when you want to start looking at whether that canopy is capping off with weeds and get them clipped. A lot of the annual winter annuals will start to cover your forage crops, and so you really want to open that canopy up. Swathing, baling, and getting that mess off is the best way to do that. If you can mow, mowing under certain circumstances will work if you can spread those weeds. So you wanna cut really high so you're not cutting the forage crop and you're just clipping the tops off and stunting those sprouted weeds so the forage crop can come through the canopy and eventually take over. So don't panic, take some counts and have a look at it, see what kind of weeds are out there, and don't be afraid to clip those heads off and let those forage crops come through.